The decorations are up for the Robert E. Burton Adult School annual graduation on July 20th, 2018, held in San Quentin Visiting Room. Some of the graduates spoke about what it means to get diplomas and certificates in their respective accomplishments.
What it means to me to graduate from this class is very special because it's going to give me an extra opportunity in life, a head step as far as once I actually get in society, so I appreciate it.
What this means to me, this is something that I wouldn't have been able to do on the streets, so I'm proud of myself and I'm thankful.
Very glad to do so. Look forward to doing this when I get out, so it's going to help me out.
When I go home, I can be able to fix my own house. I can be able to work for my community, especially the one that the church, the services. That's something that I am for.
Actually, what it does for me is it allows me to actually go back into society with a trade that is conducive, because there's a lot of things happening in the water world. And trust me, laying pipe is no joke.
To graduate from plumbing is an accomplishment for me because I've never graduated since junior high school. So, to graduate from plumbing also, I can use a trade to help me. I thought it was hard, but it turned out to be easy. So I kind of enjoyed, and I'm glad I have a great instructor, great classmates, you know what I mean? So it's good to graduate this year.
For me to graduate, I feel accomplished. Something I didn't do in high school, and trying to make up for what I didn't do in high school.
It means a lot to me, not only to prove to my moms and make her proud, but to prove to myself that I could do anything that I put my mind to, you feel me? And yeah, that's what it means to me.
What graduation means to me is I've destroyed a lot in the community, and it's taught me to learn how to build better, you know what I mean, as far as relationships and everything, not just structures and everything. So yeah, I've learned a lot back there.
Academic teacher Diane Searle delivered the welcome and introduced the speakers, including Lee Goings, also known as Timbuktu, a graduate of vocational plumbing. Timbuktu spoke on how being a felon does not limit an individual from obtaining one's dreams and ambitions through the pursuit of education.
I was able to remember the old Memphis show where a youngster first time in prison. He allowed such to become a school in a very positive manner. When released he attended college and university. Now he's a doctor. Just because you convicted felon does not mean you as an individual is hopeless and helpless. Please never or ever permit such thoughts to enter your mind or heart. Keep pursuing. Falsely, there is no such thing becoming more slick or smarter criminal. No such thing. Such belief and idea will only guarantee you a one-way ticket back into the prison system. In other words, do not go from an uneducated fool to an educated fool.
Also speaking was Harry Goodall, who graduated with an Associate of Arts degree from Coastline College.
My light bulb moment came from a message from my then 10-year-old baby brother. He told me just be good, and maybe they would take me out of timeout. I laughed initially at the thought. I'm like, this is prison. It's no timeout. But upon reflection, I realized it was a timeout. It was a timeout from the destructive path that I was on. One that was filled with alcohol abuse and I'm surely would have led to an early grave. I promised myself that I would rehabilitate myself afterwards. After all, isn't the definition of the word rehabilitate to reform to one's former self? I wasn't turning back into the gang member or the alcoholic, but the hard-working, honest individual, one that valued family, friends, and real loved ones. It's been a long road and I'm still traveling. I have fallen many times, but I learned when I fall forward. That way I'm still heading toward my goal. What Coastline College did for me was allow me to concentrate on my future, something I was unable to do before in prison. I was able to pull myself out of depression because I no longer concentrated on my past. I concentrated on the future, how I was going to shape my future.
It's like remarkable, long, hard road, man. Like I say, hella sacrifice, putting things on the back burner just to be able to concentrate and get ahead to get that degree. Like I say, they'll take 6 months off your sentence, but to me it was a lot deeper than that. It was about proving something to myself that, if I put something before myself, that I could accomplish it, which was most important, It's too many times that I've halfway done things in life, and I was like, I ain't gonna halfway do this one. And it took like 8 years, but hey, it's done, It feel good. It's like a wake-up call. And for those y'all who want to try to get some, who want to go out there and get some, get this college program, man. It's here for you. Hell yeah.
More surgery.
Dante Caligari, a retiring construction technology instructor, recounts a true story titled Pick Up the Cup. This account in question depicts his cousin's husband, Scott Walker, a former state employee forced into medical retirement due to persistent back problems. He kept a meticulous yard that was frequently littered. His response to the littering, however, resulted in an unfortunate yet profound life lesson.
He had a yard that was perfectly groomed. That's all he did, is he just kept his yard perfect. Had a chain link fence, and it was beautiful. I went up there, it was gorgeous. But somebody was throwing litter in his yard, a little bit here and there, and it just drove him crazy. Well, one day, he heard some kids walking down the street after school, and he just kind of was watching, and one of the kids was walking down the street, and threw a cup in his yard. So he caught him. Hey, are you the ones throwing trash in my yard? Knock it off. I'm sick of it. Quit doing it. Get over here and pick up this cup and knock that stuff off. And these little 15-year-old kids are, F you. Oh, F you. You know what? I know your parents. And I'm going to call them and I'm going to tell them to make you come pick up the cup. F you. Really? I'll call the sheriff. Yeah, and you can tell him that. Whatever. F you. And he heads down the street, okay? Well, he's 40 years old, would love to do it. I would have loved to do it 40 years old, but, oh, he picked up the cup. Great. All right? So listen, he called the sheriff. The sheriff lives in Wairika. The police department's 45 minutes away. He's on the phone. Okay, I'll be there in 45 minutes. 45 minutes later, the deputy shows up. Hey, Scott, what's going on? A guy threw a cup in my yard. I found out who's been littering. I'm sick of it. And he says, okay, I'll go down and write him up for littering if you can identify him. No, I don't want to write him up for littering. I want him to pick up the cup and never do it again. Well, I'm not going to make him pick up the cup, but I'll write him for littering. Well, I don't want to do that. See you later, Scott. Got in his patrol car and started driving 45 minutes back to Wairika. Okay, he's upset. He's just going crazy. She goes, you need to relax. Gets on the phone, he calls the sheriff, tells him what's happening, why the deputy didn't do what he needed to do, and he says, I'm backing my deputy, man. He can cite him for littering, but he can't make him pick up the cup. Well, he says, Scott, listen, I can't make it tonight, but I'll drive out first thing in the morning, and I'm gonna deal with this problem with you. I understand you're upset. So he gets off the phone. My cousin tells him, do the dishes, because you need to settle down. So he's doing the dishes, and his arm starts to hurt. And then she says, you need to lay down on bed. I'm calling 911. Started going into his shoulder. So he says, I can't afford 911. She said, well, then get in the car. I'm taking you to Klamath Falls. So she's driving up to Klamath Falls. She says the steering wheel's shaking. He's making noises she's never heard in the back seat. Gets 5 minutes from the hospital. His heart blows up. He's DOA in the hospital. That's when I get the call. I'm at a football game doing 1st and 10. Dante, you got to come to Klamath Falls. I can't drive home. Scott just died. I'm at the hospital. So I get my overnight bag, my wife, and we're driving 3.5 hours. I get up to Klamath Falls. She's sitting on a bench out front. Steffi, what happened? He died of a heart attack. I'm like, wow. So my wife took her back. I drove her car back. We're up all night long trying to figure out, how does that happen? A sheriff shows up at 8 o'clock in the morning. Scott Walker here. He died on the way to the hospital last night. He says, man, I knew he was upset. I knew it. I told him I couldn't make it. I told him I'd be here, would take care of it first thing in the morning, would take care of it. Gosh, damn, I'm so sorry, guys. So he leaves. And I'm thinking to myself, this don't make sense. It's just a cup. All he had to do was pick up the cup, and it would have been over. But he couldn't pick up the cup. He could have told the kids, hey, I'm disabled, got nothing to do. If you got more stuff for me to pick up, throw it in my yard. But he couldn't pick up the cup. So I found out in my life that it's a lot easier to pick up the cup. I pick up so many cups because people are throwing trash in our yards all the time. Just pick up the cup, falls out, pick it up again. So that's my pick up the cup story, guys. And I've had people come back to me and say, hey, I had to pick up the cup, man. I had to do it. And it's easier.
We spoke with Dante about his upcoming retirement and the positive work that will continue with his departure.
I'm trying to figure out getting what I got to do to be successful out on retirement. So I'm gearing up. Got a boat. Going to do some fishing. I'm going to probably get back into flying. Of course, I'm going to get back into construction and do all the honeydew chores that I haven't finished because I was out here
for the last 5 years. So I got some work to do, but I'll get it done. It'll give me something to do. Looking forward to retirement. Been thinking about it for a little bit, but it's not as easy as people think, because you come to work every day. This is what you do. You've learned to enjoy your job. You get to meet some very intelligent people and hardworking folks, and it makes a day a wonderful day. So I'm going to miss that part of it, so it's kind of hard for me to let go, but I'm going to turn it over. We have some good candidates interviewing for the job, and I think he'll pick up the torch and be able to run with it. A lot of my teachers' aides are going to stay behind to help the transition between the new instructor, and I think that we can continue the success that we've built here from the ground up at San Quentin. I've had a lot of success with inmates that have paroled, that are getting good, livable wage, skilled jobs, and they're actually reaching back looking for more of our graduates, parolees, to be able to maybe go to work for them in the same industry, construction, trade. So I think the job opportunities are out there. All we got to do is give them the skills, the confidence, and get them job ready. It's another program we just started. It's called Job Ready, and we're taking it a little bit further because students at San Quentin are getting the skills, the trade, but they're having a little worries about the transition between the interview and the job. So we put up a program. We're actually interviewing guys, giving them top 50 questions they're going to ask you in an interview. So be ready for them questions. We're getting them lined up with resumes, putting them through mock beginning interviews, and showing them when they're prepared what it looks like when they're done. So we're sending them off with first graduates August 28th, and that's why I'm leaving in August 31st. I want to say thanks San Quentin for the time here. Thank the inmates for being very responsive and professional, and the staff here has been great. Thank you, guys.
Shannon Swain, the superintendent of the CDCR Office of Correctional Education, spoke to the audience and later to us about what a gift education is and the importance of pursuing it to better one's life.
I'm here to share a message, and that message is this: education is a gift that nobody can ever take away from you, ever. Because once you have it, it's yours. Please hold on to that and get more. We have college programming. There are more programs at San Quentin State Prison than any other institution in the state, times 5. You have opportunities here that simply do not exist in institutions that are more isolated or located in communities where there are not 25 different colleges and universities within a 50-mile radius. You have an unbelievable bounty of opportunity here at this institution. Am I right? Over 3,000 volunteers come into this institution to bring opportunities in every possible area. And if you're not taking advantage of those opportunities, that's on you. That's on you.
I came here today because it is my absolute privilege to represent all of the over 1,500 educators, teachers, librarians, and staff that we have in the state of California working for the Office of Correctional Education, who are in the business every day of changing lives. And that's what we do. We are in the opportunity business. And when I think about the journey that these graduates have taken to learn and to study and to apply themselves and to change the way that their future will look because of education, I'm humbled. It's outstanding, and that's really all I have to say. You know, it's amazing. On a personal level, to be able to come to a graduation like this reminds me in a very tangible way of why I get out of bed every morning and commute to my job, signing and meetings and administrivia, right? All that stuff that you have to do. This event makes it all worthwhile. This is why we do it. It's about seeing that light go on, and that I truly believe that education is a gift no one can take away. And so for me, that's what it does. It's a huge boost for morale. It allows me to share with our staff what's going on. I always want to bring folks with me when I can so that they can participate, because there's a whole bunch of folks that come to work every day working on contracts and curriculum and credentials, and they don't get to see the fruits of their labor. So for me, being able to come is a privilege, because it's just a real tacit, visible reminder of why we do the work. That's why. So this has been the best journey of my life. I love this work. I recommend to anybody starting out in education to consider correctional education. I would do it all again in a heartbeat. The changes that I have seen in the last 30 some odd years that I've been doing this, it's just amazing to me. I'm totally sincere when I tell you there is a rehabilitative revolution going on in our institutions. The culture is changing. The opportunities are increasing. We have invested heavily in technology, in wireless access points, in bringing technology into the hands of our students so that they can be prepared for their futures. We're now doing, for our CTE programs, the industry trade certifications that they do are now online. And frankly, we were told 4 years ago it would never, ever happen. And it's happening. And it's happening because we have a governor who has invested and believes in rehabilitative programming. We have an incredible team of professionals. Secretary Kernan, the undersecretaries really believe in the mission. And so they've made it possible for us to do this work. It's a great time to be a correctional educator, and I'm very excited about our future. Very excited. So.
During the interview, Sharon flipped the script, turned the tables, and interviewed me.
So tell me about yourself.
My name is Louis Scott. I'm an executive producer of San Quentin Radio, 3-time award-winning journalist.
3 times?
Yes, 3 times. And I enjoy coming out to events such as this because it's just overwhelming sometimes to see individuals on the yard and then see the positive accomplishment that you've watched them achieve over the years. So it's been fun.
Have you seen a notable change in the culture on the yard because of rehabilitative programs? Tell me about that.
Here at San Quentin, they just implemented what's called the non-designated yard. So they have individuals that transition from S&Y, which is the sensitive needs yard, to a general population yard. And in doing so, it has been a change in the population here. I can't say it all goes without struggle. It was a bit rough at first, but it's starting to mellow out a little bit. And I think it's for the best, to be honest with you, because if a person says that they rehabilitated, then all the prison politics should be on the other side of the fence as opposed to being over here.
What do you think that your contribution to that effort could be based on the work that you do with the radio show, et cetera?
Continuously promoting harmony, unity, and education.
Harmony, unity, and education. What kind of educational opportunities have you availed yourself of here during your time as a guest of CDCR?
Well, as a guest of CDCR, I'm a current student at PUP, which is Patton University Project. It's been great. It's a little struggle at times because I am busy with the media center. It's time consuming, but well worth the effort.
We spoke to a few more graduates who verbalized the impact graduation has on their lives.
What this means to me is an opportunity to take care of this beautiful woman that God has blessed me with so she can retire and I can work and pay the bills, you know. And honestly, what it means to me, there is a scripture that I live by. It says, let him who stole work with his hands that he may have something to give to someone in need. And I'm somebody who previously stole, and now I'm able to work with my hands and use my mind to be able to be a blessing to others. That's what this means to me. And this happens to be my beautiful sister, Christine Ritchie, who's always has also had my back and believed in me like my beautiful wife has now.
You know, the devil busy, but God prevailed. I was able to make it here. But I just want to say I'm very proud of you. Very. I love you, babe.
I am proud of him. I was telling him that this is the first time that I've ever gotten to see him actually graduate. He messed up in high school, and I tutored him so that he could get his GED, and this just means so much to me to see him turn his life around and for him to be accomplishing his goals and to live up to the potential and what God has for him to be. So I'm just very, very proud of him.
I mean, it feels good to be here with my family, you know what I mean? Like I said, to get a trade that I can use and I ain't got to call nobody to do something stupid, you know? So I'm blessed that they're here, you know what I mean? I'm blessed that they're here to see me, you know, get a certificate and, you know, that's it. Let him talk.
Hey, I'm glad he got a trade that helps me too. You know what I'm talking about? Call that reverse mortgage, you know what I'm talking about? A little payback. So everything's good, but I'm proud of him that he went this route. And don't stop, like the man said.
Oh, no, I ain't gonna
Go on
stop.
and get the college education because all of it helps.
I'm in school right now.
I'm just very proud of my son. You know, he's my only son. And I just appreciate him and just pray that God gives him the strength to make sure that we reunited. Thank you all for everything you do. Proud of you, son.
For me, it's today is exactly the same day, same month that I commit my crime. So it's meant a lot for the people that I hurt and harm. The whole time I was thinking about my victim family, what they're going through, because Jeffrey Rogers is in my crime, and if he's still alive today, he could have had this experience. But I took that away from him. His family could be like my family, or could be here and enjoy this moment with him. But I took that, and it saddened me when I think about that. But in the other way, I feel that it's something that I accomplished to honor him and his family and my family, and the part of me try to change and become a better person.
I feel like if I could do it, anybody could do it, you feel me? Dropped out 10th grade, but you feel me, had to come back and get it, you know? So, hey.
I'm proud of him.
I mean, what else is there? What else is there to say? You feel me?
Right? What else is there to say except pushing towards education? Because the more you learn, the bigger your world becomes. This is Louis A. Scott for SQTV.
All right, so I was asked to explain what a honeydew list is because some of you guys may not be married, but a honeydew list is what the honey, your little honey, wants you to do, and she has a list, and she's always building that list. I have a big honeydew list, and it never stops, but it's a good list, I guess. And when I go home, the honey brings out her list, and I try to keep up with it. But it's fun. It keeps us busy at home. We got to keep moving. We know that. Thank you, guys.
Lastly, in order to maintain your power and water to you to escape, keep pursuing. In order to maintain being a civilized human being, think before you leap. Think before you leap.
Last thing I'm going to leave you guys with is I always say it, and I think it's a great saying, is you just got to be yourself, right? Because everyone else is taken, right? Thank you, guys. Thank you all.